Like, I'm not a zero drop guy. I sorry to all the Ultra fans out there, but this shoe
gotta
just
be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids' kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finish this bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the grind on the cars is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live.
What is happening, everybody? Thanks again for checking this out. Again, we are going over the brand new Altra Running Rivera. It is very rare nowadays when you see a shoe that doesn't have a 1, 2, 3, sometimes now a cumulus. I think we're in 22, 23 range. This is a brand new shoe from Altra Rivera, or from Altra Running, that they sent out to me to give a try. So wanted to give you my thoughts on them, but as always, you guys know how I do shoe reviews. If I haven't put a minimum of 5 runs and typically over 50 miles, I'm not gonna really give my opinion. But we got 6 different runs in over 50 miles. I think it was around 55-ish miles on these shoes, ranging anywhere from fartlek runs where my pace was sub 5 minutes, all the way to easy runs, which my pace was in the 8:30s, 8:40 range. So it really got put through a large gamut of workouts, but I didn't take it on my long run, and I will explain to you why I did not use this shoe on my long run once we get to that section. But I wanted to let you guys know this is my first time ever running in Altra shoes. So if you don't know anything about them, they have a huge following that I've noticed on social media from my friends that love running. When I first got into trail running, the guy that I ran with swore by Ultras. I mean, he must have had 4, 5, 6 pairs in his car, and that is all he ever run in. And I just had a hard time understanding the zero drop and never really got around to it. But they have a huge following that people just love their shoes. And after running in them, I can understand a little bit why people have this cult-like feel with this shoe, and where that comes from. So a little bit of information on this shoe. There is a proprietary, what they call a Ego midsole. It's supposed to be ultra soft. It's supposed to be a special type of midsole. And when I get to kind of my reviews, I'll talk about that. But to the touch, it does have a little bit of a soft feel to it. But the other thing about Altra that they are known for is their from heel to toe a zero drop. They have no heel to toe drop. Just to give you a little bit of comparison, the shoes that I typically run in, Cumulus, 10 millimeter drop, Hoka Bondi, 4 millimeter drop, the Hoka Cliftons, 5 millimeter drop, Hoka or the A6 Nova Blast, 10 millimeter drop. And then what I actually used to do a lot of speed and racing in that is now discontinued, the A6 Dynaflight was an 8 millimeter drop. So I am used to no less than a 4 millimeter or 4 millimeter drop in the Hoka Bondis. So going from a significant drop to zero drop, I thought there was gonna be a big shift in those. And the honest truth is I got a couple texts from people that are my big Altra fans that said, hey, are your calves or your soleus, is your lower extremities really burning from these? And the answer is not really. I didn't feel any difference in fatigue in my calves or in my lower legs from these. But what I did notice is I had my foot strike a little bit farther back towards the mid-foot, whereas normally I'm a 4-foot striker on my faster runs. And in these shoes, I found myself more of a mid-foot to the back part of my 4-foot striking. And I know that probably had to do with the fact that there is zero drop. The other thing that Altra always talks about is the wide toe box. And so this is gonna get me into what did I really like about the Altra Rivera. So For me, I understand the large following with these because of the wide toe box and the comfort of it. When I was in my moderate to easy pace runs, man, this shoe is actually really comfortable. It allowed my foot to have a natural motion in the toe box. It didn't feel compressed together. It just had a really comfortable feel to it. And on those runs, the only difference is I felt myself thinking about my foot strike more because it didn't feel natural to me. It didn't feel what was normal. Now I know Altra talks about the more natural foot strike, the more natural spread of the foot, but because I have grown up my entire running career on these shoes that potentially are more structured or have a heel to toe drop, this was a definite change for me, and I definitely noticed it, but there was no discomfort or any niggles or anything like that that had come from it. The second major pro that I love about this, man, the upper of this shoe, the mesh that they have going on, it is extremely comfortable. Now, I know most of the country at the time of this video is what seems like knee deep in snow, and we're over here in the 60s. So we had some, moderate California weather, and it didn't feel warm, it didn't feel cool, it just felt really, really comfortable of an upper on these shoes. So from a comfort standpoint, with the extra room in the toe box, as well as that mesh upper, it is really comfortable. The lockdown was extremely nice going towards that upper as well. But I'm gonna get into more, I'm not gonna call them cons, but what I'm gonna call kind of just observations about this shoe and why I most likely will not be continuing doing significant amount of training in this shoe, if any training at all. Number one is I am a forefoot striker. I am on my easier days, midfoot striker. And the fact that I felt as though my foot landing was not near as natural, both from the high speed efforts when I was doing my 1 minute fartlegs, sub 5 minute, anywhere between sub 5 minute to about 5:20 pace, all the way to my easy runs. I did not like that feeling at all. I know that the Altra running community that love these shoes, these Altra athletes love that zero drop and that natural feeling. For me, I did not like it. That is number one to me, is it just didn't feel natural. If I continue running in Altra shoes, I'm sure that it would come natural and it would become less of an issue, but it wasn't in my comfort zone. Number two is I didn't feel any energy return. So going back to their Ego midsole, is even on like a more basic shoe, think of like my Hoka Cliftons or my Asics Cumulus or my Asics Dynablast, is there's some energy return coming from the shoe where I don't feel like I'm pressing into the ground and just not getting anything back. But with this shoe, I just didn't get any energy return. I felt like every step took more effort than even in my basic daily trainers with Hoka, Asics that I normally run in. And so I think of the shoes that probably have like the highest energy return that are non-carbon plated. I think of my Asics Nova Blast. I think of my Skechers Razor Go Run 3s. Those shoes, like when you press into them and really put some effort into your running, get those cadence up, get that power up, those shoes have spring back into them, and it's just a foam midsole. It is not a nylon plate, it's not a carbon plate. But with this shoe, I didn't get any. I mean, the 1 minute intervals just weren't there, and that's the main reason I did not use this shoe on my 20 miler. Is I had a hard workout in my 20 miler, and I just didn't feel like there was enough foam, one, for protection of my foot, but two, I wanted some of that energy return from the shoe. And so I went to an old trusted A6 Novoblast. I'm about ready to get my third pair on those, and I just didn't feel that same energy return from these shoes. And last but not least, like, it just felt like a shoe to me. Like, for me, at $130, I would probably rather go buy a previous generation Cumulus, go back and go get my A6 Dynoblast that they no longer even make, or at $130 get another pair of Novoblast, because I know those shoes can cross so many different spectrums. And for me, really, this shoe just fits into a moderate or easy day shoe from that standpoint. Now, there's no cons to this shoe, don't get me wrong. If you're an Altra fan and you're looking for a little bit of a lighter shoe for something that's for your speed days, then yeah, this may be the shoe for you. But for me moving forward, like, I'm not a zero drop guy. I sorry to all the Ultra fans out there, but the shoe just kind of was basic to me. There's nothing special about this shoe that makes me go, yeah, you know, gonna spend 130 bucks on this shoe again. It's just not there for me. So if you have any questions, make sure you comment, shoot me any messages. Sorry to all the Ultra fans out there, you haven't converted me. This is definitely gonna be my first and last pair of Ultras that I will run in. And look forward to the next conversation with you. Enjoy the training, keep it up, and look forward to some hopeful races as we get into 2021.
Promise my brother soon as he out and finish this bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying to